I'm Dr. Renu Mahtani, and today I'm here to talk with you something which is so important with us round the clock, and that is our posture. I'm sure we all want a pain-free life. We all want to be fit. We all want to be healthy, and we do all different types of exercises that suit our mindset. At the same time, after the exercise is done, the best of exercise, we usually forget how we are carrying ourselves throughout the day. The moment I talk of posture, we will immediately sit up straight. But posture is something more than that. How we stand, how we walk, how we do our exercises, how we keep our back in relation to the spine, how we maintain the relationship of our head with the body. All this makes a posture, and the success of our exercise and lifestyle depends on how we carry ourselves throughout the day rather than only when we exercise. Point number two, how we do the exercise is more important than what we do. And this holds true not only in our activities but in specific exercises of yoga. Yoga is time tested, and I think nothing beats its benefits, the way it works on so many muscles of the body, breath, mind. But at the same time, it's not about what we are doing in yoga, it's about how we are doing it. It's about how we are doing even the physiotherapy exercises that have been advised to us. So, friends, today let's move ahead on this journey, a very interesting journey with a presentation with loads of pictures in front of you so that the topic gets easily understandable. I'm going to share with you some rules, some mantras on how we do is more important than what we do. And these are principles to be actually practiced around the clock. And what are they? Four basic ones: parallel feet, unlock knees, a belly in, tail down practice, and a head glide. And once we have understood this, we apply all of them in our exercise routine. And we also take a look now into how to make our practices better so we avoid errors which are very common in yoga practices today. We are going to touch briefly upon balancing postures, forward bends, back bends, and safety in sun salutations or the Surya Namaskar. So, friends, whether it's yoga, whether it is the physiotherapy exercises, they were all designed when man was physically very active. Let's look at these farming bodies of the past. I'm sure we can see how much of hard work they would do, how their muscles would have been tight, overworked. And look at the body of today. Hmm? Well, we are all getting tuned to comforts in life. We want a comfort based lifestyle. Our muscles to look forward to comfort. And well, when they get a lot of comfort, they become loose, they become lax. No wonder obesity, metabolic diseases are on the rise. See how we love comfort even in our sitting. Everywhere our muscles have actually gone on a holiday and have become weaker. Look at this senior gentleman. This is how the body would be of our ancestors. Huh? They could sit straight on the floor, strong back, strong muscles, and look at the personalities of today. Rounded, right? Distorted, with less strength in our muscles. So, whatever yoga or exercises were designed for our ancestors also need some adaptation to meet the requirement of today. That's what we will see. So, friends, let's quickly see what are the problems of today because of this change of lifestyle and comforts. Let's look at our posture. Obviously, we are talking on that. Okay. So, this is how we commonly stand. Our feet are turned out like a V. Well, it has its own negative impacts. And the second wrong standing habit we all usually harbor nowadays is locking of the knees. If you look here, the knee is just pushed back maximally. as if there is nothing to stop it behind that. Come on, man, don't go beyond the right position. So once the knees are pushed way back due to laxity of the muscles and the ligaments, what happens? The knee is pushed back and the cartilage inside the knee starts getting crushed. The joint spaces become less, and no wonder the knees start hurting when we walk, we climb the stairs, we climb down. So here this shows the normal joint space, and this is how the joint space is getting crushed with locking of the knees. We have to correct it. Then the other common, not just error, but a deformed posture we see nowadays is called as an overarched lower back or a sway back. It need not be there only in the obese people, but we see it even in thin personalities. So what does this do? Well, you can see this is the curvature of the back, a normal one. We all need a little curvature, but when it is exaggerated, it is called as a sway back. And what does this do? When the curvature is exaggerated, the discs between the bones of the spine, they get pinched, as you can see here. They're getting pinched where? At the peak of the curvature. So obviously, if we are going to further increase this curvature, we are going to pinch our disc even more. And then our pains, how can they ever go? So we'll see how this very vital point needs to be taken care of today, because low backache is so common. The third error we do unknowingly is, look at the heads here, right? Everywhere the head is leading the body, right? And thanks to the computers and of course the intellectia that we have, the heads are leading. And what does this strain? Our neck. No wonder, end of the day, neck pain is really become a neck pain, right? So what's happening? When the head is leading ahead, the curvature of the spine, the way it was happening in the lower back, even in the neck, the discs start to get pinched here. The muscles start to get strained, and we suffer from all sorts of aches and pains. So friends, let's start with the solutions now. We are keen to know the what to do's. So the first mantra, which I spoke in the beginning, was parallel feet. Instead of standing with the feet turned out, we need to stand keeping the feet parallel. Think of a railway track, huh? If the railway tracks were not parallel, what would happen? The train, the engine would get derailed. And if we are not able to stand on parallel feet, we are derailing our upper body. Derailing means misaligning the joints, and obviously which gives rise to all the aches and pains. So when we stand with parallel feet, it is the outer edge of the feet that get parallel. So the toes are slightly turned in. And this is how, if you look at small children, they always have parallel feet. But as adults, we tend to forget this basic principle. Second mantra, we must imbibe, because standing is a part of our lifestyle. We may be doing the best of exercises, but if we stand incorrectly with locked knees, as you can see in this picture, locking means the knees are pushed way beyond, okay? And think of the slide before, the joint space is getting crushed. So how should we stand? Well, the feet should be parallel and the knees should not be pushed back completely, but slightly soft and forward, not really bent, but present directly above the ankle joint. It's very important, friends. Third mantra, another very important one, is belly in, tail down. Sounds funny because we don't have a tail. Well, but if we had a tail, we would see that somebody is giving a pull to our tail downward. Why? Because with our laxity of muscles, what has happened? The abdomen, the front part of the body is lax and the tailbones are lifted up, right? And there's a sway back curvature over here. So if I don't want the discs to get pinched over here, I must not only pull the belly in, but bring my tail down, as you can see here. Belly in, tail down, so that the spaces in the spine between the bones open out and the discs are not getting pinched. How can we unknowingly be harming our knees and the lower back? Wrong standing habits with the feet turned out into a big V. In this position, we make another blunder. We tend to push the knees way behind rather than keeping them in place. So when they go way behind, the knee joint gets damaged and you tend to create a sway back above. So we should not be locking our knees. We stand on parallel feet with unlocked knees where the knees are soft above the ankles. Another wrong, the overarched back when we stand. Okay? And it all starts from the feet up. So see how the discs are getting pinched in this wrong standing position. No wonder backaches don't easily go. And then we should not be lifting the chest up and saying, the way we commonly do when we get a backache. Because you're going to press the disc more in that. So what is right? We have to once again apply that principle of imprinting in the standing position. What is the right thing to do? Belly up, tail down. Okay, let's make it simpler for you. Look at this diagram. The front one on the left side shows the wrong thing, where your front part of the belly is falling down and the hips are lifted up, pressing the discs. So what do? We have to raise the navel up, and for that you have to pull the belly in. So navel goes up and the hip or the tailbone comes down as visible in the right picture. So wrong, as you can see very clearly here now, when the lower back is getting overarched and the belly is dropping down, and the right picture when it is corrected, see how the pelvis or the hips get leveled. Okay, so the navel goes in and up and the tailbone comes down. And now let's demonstrate it practically for you. So there we are, Swati. Keep one hand, yeah, right. So first thing, you have to take your belly in and then try to bring your hips down. You don't have to overdo it. It should not be overdone, but moderately done so that it becomes a part of our posture actually. Okay, this means what? We are trying to bring back the lost tone in our core muscles of the body. Friends, core is not just the abdomen, not just the six-pack abs. Core also includes our hip muscles and our front thigh muscles. These three muscles have become very weak in today's lifestyle, and we have to make them strong. We have to bring back the lost tone, or that baseline strength which a muscle should have. They should not be flabby, soft, and weak. So we want the tone or the mild state of muscle contraction. We achieve it with belly in, tail down. And friends, in case somebody is not able to get it, we can do a simple practice. Pull the belly button in by just half an inch. Pull it the way we do when we want to look slim. Pulling the navel in by just half inch, not too much, and maintaining it there, because this is normal. This is how the belly button has to get back the lost tone. If the navel is all relaxed all the time on a Sunday mode, the muscles of the core become weak. Howsoever crunches you may do in a day, but you are not able to really get the inner strength of your muscles. And even if this is difficult, friends, slight tone in the hips, a mild squeeze to your hip muscles. Well, it sounds difficult, but we have to get back what we have lost if we want to experience good health. And it's not that difficult at all. You start applying it because you will see that, wow, it makes you feel more toned. People will start saying, oh, you've lost weight, you're looking slimmer. And the pains become less and they become our habit. The fourth and the final mantra, friends, is head glide. So this is how we commonly are in our office, in front of the computers. As you can see here, the head is leading the body. So what we need to do? We need to glide our head back. See, here the gentleman is gliding the head back and bringing it in line with the spine. So the chin slightly gets stuck in. Okay, this is the head glide. Friends, they look very simple, this one especially, but these techniques can do wonders. So those who have neck pain, if at work you can keep the head in the right place, you'll realize, oh wow, my pains have become much less and disappeared. Now these 4 practices, parallel feet, unlock knees, belly in, tail down, and head glide, they make the foundation of safe yoga in 2020. If we are performing yoga postures, forgetting these principles, the same yoga practice is going to give us pain. It can give us pain very soon in the future. So when we perform yoga, let us become like the ancestors of ours who did not need to do all these things. Why? Because they were already like this. They were already like this before performing the yoga postures. So let's get back to that basic and then embark on the journey of yoga. So let's see some examples. Okay, a very common posture, the tree pose or vrikshasana, or let us say balancing standing postures. So if today I do the tree pose with my knees locked, pushed back, this posture is going to hurt and further damage my knee joint. But if I can do the vrikshasana with unlocked knees, they are not pushed back completely, slightly forward. And you'll realize that when you do it this way, your thigh muscles will go into the state of tone. Yeah, it will bring a stability to the posture and you will be doing good to your knee joints because a strong front thigh or quadricep muscle is the prerequisite for a healthy knee joint. Same applies when we do practices like, let us say, the triangle pose or the trikonasana. If you look here, if the knee is pushed too much behind in the locked position while doing trikonasana, this is damaging for the knee. But if the knee can be kept unlocked and strong muscles to keep it in place, the same trikonasana will strengthen the knee joint. Knee safety is equally important in practice like the sun salutation or the Surya Namaskar. Well, sun salutation was designed for our ancestors who had very tight knees being farmers. Well, and then practices like this would give a good stretch to the tight ligaments inside. But are we farming today? Do we have tight muscles and ligaments of the knee? No. So if in today's time I'm performing sun salutations with my knees like this, I could be damaging them. If not now, later the pain comes. So what is the need for today? A 90-degree angle on the front knee, right? When we perform this particular posture of the sequence of sun salutation. Do remember this, friends, it is very important because we are staying in 2020. And if somebody still has a lot of knee issues, they need not do the sun salutation on the mat. In fact, we have a beautiful version of it done with the help of a chair. All these videos are there on my YouTube channel and you can please feel free to learn from them how to do the chair Surya Namaskar or chair sun salutation. Let's move ahead. Yoga demands sitting on the floor and it's great to sit on the floor. But at the same time, if we sit wrong, we can hurt the back. So if we have a tight back, tight hips, it's a better idea to sit on a cushion, right? The thickness depends on how tight your back and hips are, practically. So when you sit on a cushion and do your sitting postures, you will prevent your lower back and hip joint from getting injured. And any posture you do, friends, first pull the belly button in and then do the posture. You will keep yourself nice and safe. Forward bends in yoga. Anybody gets a backache, the first thing we do is we stop forward bending. Let's know what is the right method of forward bending. Okay, so a safe forward bend is bending on the hip joint and not on the lower back, as you will see in the next slide. But this is so challenging for so many of us in today's time because of all the muscle imbalances we carry. So what we tend to do, we bend wrong. Instead of bending on the hip joint, we start bending on the lower back. And then the discs get, sort of impacted and injured in the process, and we get backaches. So what is the safe method of forward bending? To bend on the hip joint, all right? And the moment the lower back starts to round, right, the way you saw in the previous picture, you bend your knees. Forward bending with slight bend on the knees will keep your lower back nice and safe. Should we move ahead? All right, let's move ahead to the most sensitive part for the back. And these are back bends of yoga. Back bends means where we arch the back. We arch the back, all right? So if somebody has a sway back, or it may not be visible to the naked eyes, but the x-rays and MRIs are there and the person has a backache where there is pinching occurring at the back of the disc. If they do a back bend, like Bhujangasana, the cobra, the camel pose, the Ushtrasana, the bow pose, or the Dhanurasana, they are going to further pinch the disc and aggravate their problems. So it is mandatory to first do the belly in, tail down, maintain it when you do a back bend. I repeat, friends, before a safe back bend is done, today's time, 2020, take your belly in, bring the tail down, maintain it, and then do the back bend. Do not give up on this vital principle. Otherwise, you will pinch your discs and get a backache. Let's see it with an example. The cobra, the Bhujangasana posture. Well, you can see it here. Here we see a nice fit body performing this pose. Belly is already in. You can see nice tone in the belly, and the person is perfectly aligned in doing the Bhujangasana. A great friend of mine. And look here, another same posture being done by somebody else who has a weak tone in the belly. And she tries to lift the chest similarly, and she pinches the disc at the back. And the same practice, which is helping her, is going to give pain to this lady. Why? Well, here you can see my friend has a great tone in the belly. Okay, great tone in the belly. And here this lady has a poor tone in the belly. So what happens? It starts pinching the disc here. It doesn't pinch the disc spaces here. Okay, so I repeat, before we do a back bend, the belly has to be pulled up. First, tailbone down, and then only do as long as you can maintain this vital principle. If not, if one cannot maintain it, then what do? We will not push through the hands to lift up. See, her elbows are still bent. She's not pushing on the palms to lift up high and pinch the disc. And the belly remains on the mat as the chest is lifted up. This is a safe version of back bend to be done today when the muscles of the abdomen are so weak. And people who already have a backache, they start doing these back bends, they can never get the benefit. I see patients who come and tell me, I do a back bend and my pain increases. Absolutely justified because of the reasons I've explained. So if somebody has a sensitive back, first, avoid back bends. Avoid all the Bhujangasana, Dhanurasana, back bends, bow pose, cobra, camels, or just avoid them. Avoid doing practices where you are lying on the belly for a while, okay? Till we understand what is right. So what we have to learn to become like our ancestors, the belly in tail down principle applied even when you lie down. And that is called as back imprinting. I've made a video on this. You can please see it. It will be quite informative for you. The video is Say No to Low Backache by Correcting Your Sway Back. This has to be learned. This has to be practiced, back imprinting. And then only one becomes eligible to do back bends and lying on the belly practices once they become pain-free and the right technique has been understood and imbibed. This brings me to one posture which is called as the cat camel pose commonly, or Marjarasana, where we alternate the back between a camel, like a hump of a camel, and the arched back of a cat. We alternate between the two. It's actually a great practice, provided we have a good tone in the belly. Okay? If the belly tone is poor, this cat position will pinch the disc like any back bend. Camel will not. Okay? So if somebody has a sensitive back, doing the camel is good, but the cat can be very toxic, very injurious to the back. Okay, so what should be done? Instead of doing the full cat, let your spine be level or horizontal. Till we learn to get the tone in the belly, and then only we are eligible to make the cat. All right? Friends, please remember these small points. They matter. They can make you okay and or take the people towards other problems. Well, friends, last is neck alignment. Our ancestors never had computers. They were farmers with their heads bending down all the time. Okay? So when they performed yoga, they could healthfully do this, stretching the front part of the neck, which was otherwise tight due to their lowering of the head when they would work throughout the day. But in today's time, when we sit in front of the computers, our necks are practically stretched in the front and crushed behind. So the safe thing to do would be maintain the head, neck, spine in one line. Okay? This way, those who have neck issues, giddiness, pain, they can keep away their problems and do the right practice. So concludingly, friends, this brings us to understand that yoga flexibility alone has no meaning till it is based on a foundation of strength. Strength, core strength of muscles like our ancestors had. And this will, why it's important to be strong so that the bone alignments can be maintained. Muscles are like cement, bones are like bricks. Huh? So when the muscles are nice, strong, and well balanced, the bones remain in place and do not lose their alignment. So strength is important. And for that, we must remember that what we are doing is not important that much than how we are doing it. So with all these principles in mind, we will now lead a life which will definitely be pain-free. You'll feel more toned up, more energized, metabolically more active also. If you want to know more, well, there's a book which I've written, The Power of Posture. You can read through this. And at this juncture, friends, I wish you all the best of health, pain-free life, safe yoga, healthy yoga. Enjoy. Thank you very, very much.